What do 50% of divorced people say they wish they would have done differently when they were married?
I can't do it. No, that's not what you said.
What did I say? We'll show you how. I'll forget that I gotta sit up like a freak.
Don't say that. Just stop.
You ready?
Yeah.
Welcome back to Adore Your Spouse, where marriages get happier. When I was selling real estate, especially towards the end of my career, I was really excited actually the first 5 years of my career, and then ever since then I wasn't that excited about it. So for like 18 years I wasn't very excited about it. I wanted to get into a good career, which I'm finally there.
Wasn't that long.
Okay, but I wasn't very happy for a long time. But what I found myself doing was, as I continued to work on my degree and I kept trying, I was out of my career completely mentally, almost. And I would go through the motions. I actually started selling new construction, so I didn't have to go out and get business, and it would come to me, and et cetera, et cetera. But I found that I wasn't really in the game. I wasn't gonna make it like do or die like I did when I was in the beginning. I found myself, I wouldn't even post on Facebook to let people know that I was selling real estate, because I didn't want people to know that I sold real estate. I know that sounds really funny, but I wanted everyone to know that I was helping marriages and I was working on marriages. And and especially like the last year, I had started Adore Your Spouse, and I was still selling real estate. And I just, bottom line is, I just wasn't committed at all. I didn't have my heart into it and my mind, and I just wasn't going to say, I never told myself, I'm going to make this happen, do or die. Well, it's completely opposite now with Adore Your Spouse. I'm going to do this do or die. And obviously I love it and I can't get enough of it. I actually kind of feel deflated at the end of the day because I've run out of day and I still want to keep doing stuff. And so it's changed dramatically. But this same principle of commitment applies in marriage. Those people, the 50% that divorced and wish they would have done something differently, they wish they would have tried harder. They wish they would have been more committed. Stats prove that people that divorce are less happy 5 years later than those that work through the hard things and stay married and stay together.
Yeah. I'll never forget the last 3 or 4 times that you were like, okay, I'm going to go back to existing real estate again. But here's the thing. Always in the back of his mind, it was, I'm going to do this only long enough to make this amount of money, and then I'm going to quit.
Yep.
Right? So it was always a temporary, well, I'm pretending like I'm committed because I'm going to try this long, and then after that, I'm going to be done. I'll never forget, I was mentoring a woman, and I can't remember how we got talking about it, but we were talking about financial principles. And she and her husband had been learning some financial principles, and they had, I had encouraged them to do philanthropy. And so they had read up on it and were convinced it was a true principle. And so I said, okay, so you talked about it, you're committed, you're going to live the principles. We'd had that discussion. That's what Adore Your Spouse is all about. There's principles, we're going to live them, we're going to get the results. Yes, we know it's a true principle. And my husband, this is what she says to me. My husband said, we'll try philanthropy for 3 months and see what happens.
If it doesn't work, then no way, we're not going to do it. Right?
I was like, so what would you be trying? What would happen in 3 months that would show you that you should live this principle or not? Yeah. The floodgates are going to open and you're going to become millionaires. Money's going to drop. What's going to happen to show you that you should actually get committed to a true principle? I could show you hundreds of wealthy people that all confirm that their philanthropy was part of their success and that it's a financial principle they had to live. And it's no different with Adore Your Spouse. We teach the 12 principles of happy marriages. We show you what you need to do, and it's your job to simply commit to them, and we can promise you that you'll have the results. Yeah. And lack of commitment is always just going to bring a deflated attitude, and you're going to cut corners, and there's always this end date in mind. I'm going to try this until then, and then and that's how a lot of people are managing their marriages. I'm going to try for another year, and if I don't feel super happy by then I'll divorce. That's no different than Blaine was doing in his career.
Well, the magic of it is once you decide and you really make the commitment, I am doing this no matter what, then all of a sudden your mind starts looking for answers because you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to succeed. And so what's the best way? What's the best way to have a happy marriage? You've got to figure it out. And when you do that, you'll get what you want. So thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Please subscribe. Please head over to Adore Your Spouse, where there's a free marriage assessment so you can see how many of the principles you're living. And also there's a free marriage class that will be very helpful to you.
And take the challenge this week to recommit yourself to the principles of marriage to get the happy marriage that you want.
And my commitment is not to forget to challenge you to do the challenge. So thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.
I was overcome by emotions. And I was upset because it wasn't my first choice that he be there with his girlfriend, and I had said yes. And then the whole justification for it that she was going to come was so that we could get to know her. And then they weren't even with us, so why did she even come anyway?